Ім'я Отця і Сина і Святого Духа. Амінь. Ім'я Отця і Сина і Святого Духа. Амінь. Ім'я Отця і Сина і Святого Духа. Амінь. Отче наш, що єси на небесах, нехай святиться ім'я Твоє, нехай прийде царство Твоє, нехай буде воля Твоя, як на небі, так і на землі. Хліб наш насущний дай нам сьогодні, і прости нам провини наші, як і ми прощаємо винуватцям нашим. І не введи нас у спокусу, але визволи нас від лукавого. Амінь. Богородице Діво, радуйся, благодатна Марія, Господь з тобою, благословенна ти між жінками, і благословенний плід лона Твого, бо Ти породила Христа, Спаса і Збавителя душ наших. Ім'я Отця і Сина і Святого Духа. Амінь. Ім'я Отця і Сина і Святого Духа. Амінь. Ім'я Отця і Сина і Святого Духа. Амінь. Сідайте, будь ласка. Дорогі у Христі, війна змінила наше життя повністю на 360 градусів. Я вчора, коли розмовляв з декількома нашими священниками, які один є в Бердянську, вже під російською окупацією, з другим, який є в Чернігові, де вони ще продовжують боротися. Коли я з ним розмовляв, в одну секунду почалися алярми. І, власне, після того алярму був великий вибух. Цей священник знаходиться 500 метрів від того будинку, де стався вибух. Він каже, що церква, де вони були, вона аж зарухалася від того вибуху. Ці жахіття війни кожен із нас відчуває по-своєму. Це недоспані ночі, це велике переживання, це завжди ми стежимо за тими подіями, які відбуваються через інтернет. Кожен з нас має неспокій. Я, як єпископ, хочу вас закликати до одного. Пам'ятати про те, що дуже добре, що ми збираємося, що ми організовуємо марші, демонстрації. Але запам'ятайте одне, все є в руках Божих. Старайтеся якомога більше молитися і постити. В нашій єпархії ми закликали всіх наших вірних священників, зокрема у п'ятницю, до молитви і строгого посту. Тільки це може допомогти, звісно, разом з нашими цими виявами того, що ми робимо на наших вулицях, демонстраціями, але не забувайте за одне, що все є в руках Божих. І Путін також є під Богом. Він не є Бог. Він собі думає, що він Бог, але він далеко не є Бог. Дуже вам дякую. Слава Ісусу Христу!
Дякую, Пречисленний Владико. Ми сьогодні зібралися разом як одна українська родина. Дорогі українці, слава Україні! Сьогодні ми почуємо від наших людей, які були в Україні тиждень тому, і від тих, що живуть на рідну землю та працюють за добра України. Ми почуємо від різних місця, як змінилося життя, про ситуацію, що Сум робить в Україні та що ми можемо зробити. Today we're going to hear from some our Sum members in Ukraine. We've got 3 that are joining us. We're also going to hear from Nataliya Poshyvaylo-Towler. She just come back from Ukraine less than a week ago. We're going to hear how their lives changed, what's happening on the streets, what the situation is around them, what Sum is doing in Ukraine, and what we can do to help them. Thank you everyone for coming today. Thank you for showing your support. There's a donation box at the back. Please dig deep. all the money raised today will be going to Ukrainian crisis appeal and also to the CYM humanitarian appeal, which Druk Petrov will talk about a bit later on. So, часть Украины готова робити.
Дякую, Марко. Сьогодні програма буде, ми побачимо, як то все піде. Ми маємо вже готові тут є Lesia Holyk. Lesia є голова краєвої управи CYM в Україні. Вона проживає в Києві, але якраз тепер є в Тернополі. Так само маємо Sviatoslava Lypovetskyого, я думаю, багато з нас знають Sviatoslava, він вже в Австралії був, і дуже багато з вас його запізнали. Так само має долучитися до нас, до нас має долучитися Наталія Лавриненко. Наталія в цей час є в Чернігові. Вона, ті, що слідкують, знають, що в останні кілька днів в Чернігові не є добре. Так як вона мені сказала, можливо, тільки півгодини тому, вони цілий день, цілий вечір на них стріляли, бомби, що. Вона казала, що десь, напевно, коло 8 годин наш час, вона вийде з бункера і, можливо, на 5 хвилин з нами поговорить. Ми не знаємо точно, в котрій годині, чи вийде, чи не вийде, але побачимо. As I was just saying, we've got a few of our some friends from Ukraine who have agreed to let us know a little bit about what's happening in Ukraine at this point in time. We've got Lesia Holyk, who is the Holova of CYM Ukraine. She's been living in Kyiv. She's from Ternopil. She's back in Ternopil at the moment. She escaped Kyiv last week. We've got Lypovetsky, who lives in Ternopil as well, who a lot of us know from the times he's been here. Both Sviatoslav is on the Sviatoslav of CYM, and those that have followed on Facebook will see that he's the one that's putting out a lot of the infographics that are coming out every day about what's happening in Ukraine on a daily basis. Shortly also, hopefully, Nataliya Lavrinenko from Chernihiv will join us. Whether she does or doesn't is a little bit in the hands, or out of our hands. Chernihiv has been under sustained attack for many, many days. Over the last day, the last night, there's been continual bombing. She said she will try and come out for about 5 minutes, around about 8 o'clock today. As soon as she does come, regardless of who we've got talking, we'll get her to say whatever she can tell us about what's happening there, and whatever time she can give us, we'll be very thankful for at that point in time. If she can't make it, she can't make it. That's the nature of what we're dealing with at this point in time. Так само пізніше ми почуємо від Наталії Poshyvaylo-Towler. Наталія в січні і в лютому була в Полтаві, і в Україні на загал, і так само я бачив в Іспанії, я думаю, чи щось там. Але якраз вернулася, я думаю, день перед тим, чи день, коли війна розпочалася. Що 10 днів тому вернулася, то вона так само може нам трохи розповісти про те, що вона бачила, те, що вона відчувала, спеціально в тих днях якраз перед війною. Очевидно, Наталія є в контакті кожного дня, напевно, кілька разів на день з своїми батьками, з своїми рідними, і так само може нам дуже багато розказати спеціально, що відбувається в Полтаві, напевно, в інших частин світу так само, України так само. Наталія Poshyvaylo-Towler will also tell us a little. She's been in Ukraine during January and February, in Poltava and around Ukraine in general. She managed to come back about 10 days ago, so she'll be able to give us a pretty good eyewitness overview of what was happening in the days leading up to the war, how people were feeling, what was happening. And also, obviously, she's got parents there, she's got brothers, family members there, so she's in contact with them all the time, continually, so she'll be able to give us a very good account of what's happening in that region with her family as well. As far as questions go, there will be time for questions. We're just going to play it by ear. We'll see. I know that Sviat and Lesia will probably be able to have more time. I don't think there'll be an opportunity for necessary questions with Nataliya. If there is, fantastic. If there's not, please forgive us. Sviat, czy Lesia, czy wy tam je? Czy wy, ja бачу, що ви не є на екрані. Я знаю, чи Lesia, чи Sviat, хто хоче може починати в цей час. Lesia?
Так, Артусь.
Артусь.
Слава Україні. Дякую вам, друзі, що ви всі з нами, і ми відчуваємо тут в Україні вашу неймовірну підтримку нашого сумівського світу. Україна дуже активно і дуже вправно і дуже агресивно відбиває всі атаки ворога на інформаційному рівні і на рівні організаційному. Сум до цього долучається Артусь.
Артусь.
Слава Україні. Дякую вам, друзі, що ви всі з нами, і ми відчуваємо тут в Україні вашу неймовірну підтримку нашого сумівського світу. Україна дуже активно і дуже вправно і дуже агресивно відбиває всі атаки ворога на інформаційному рівні і на рівні організаційному. Сум до цього долучається максимально, як тільки може. Ми намагаємося налагодити і вже налагодили поставки з-за кордону, приймаємо допомогу, намагаємося передавати сумівцям. Дуже багато сумівців, фактично усі дружинники є задіяні на волонтерських штабах. Частина з них служить в Збройних силах України. Дорослі, молоді хлопці долучаються на місцях до територіальної оборони. Юнацтво, де може долучатися, працює як кіберводії, тобто організовують масовані атаки за допомогою інтернету. А ті, що на місцях долучаються до волонтерських штабів, розвантажують речі, завантажують, збирають, організовують, плетуть сітки, тобто максимально намагаємося долучитися всім, чим можемо. Маємо багато сумівців, які залишилися в Києві і працюють на місцях. Так само ніхто з сумівців, які перебувають на східних територіях, це місто Краматорськ, Чернігів, Харків, Дніпро, Одеса, Миколаїв, не потребують такого притулку сумівського, або знайшли його, або ми їх прийняли вже, але немає масового переселення сумівців з тих територій, тому ми намагаємося допомагати їм там, надсилаючи якісь кошти або речі, які ми можемо передати. І ті сумівці, які переїхали з Києва і зараз працюють на місцях, долучаються до діяльності штабів волонтерських і до того, до чого тільки можна. Дякую.
Дякую, Лесю. Чи хтось має якісь запити в цей час? Може, маємо кілька хвилин? Якщо ні, то може... прошу.
Леся, це Наталія Poshyvaylo. Питання, чи хтось із сумівців є активно в війську з ЗСУ, Збройних силах України?
Так. Ми намагаємося вести облік людей, які є в Збройних силах або які є в територіальних оборонах. Звісно, цей облік є внутрішній, але ми координуємося між хлопцями, щоб мати запит на їхні потреби, а потреби зараз продовжують бути це засоби захисту, це є бронежилети та шоломи. Це те, що потребують наші хлопці зараз найбільше, ті, які в гарячих точках, в Збройних силах. Ми також взуття, одяг, це те, що ми ще можемо купувати, і ми купуємо і передаємо зразу на запит, поки працює наша пошта.
Дякую. Інші запити? Належі. Якщо ні, може тоді Свят може тобі передам тепер? Artuś, між іншим, Свят speaks very good English.
Я?
Кажу, що ти speak.
I speak English very bad, but I speak English all people understand me. Do you understand me? Це я навчився на оселі Карпати на Різдво 2014-2015 року. Але я вірю, що ще цього року ви зможете потрапити на наші українські Карпати, тому що ми переможемо. І я можу хіба загально скажу, я не знаю, хоча ви все напевно читаєте, ви все знаєте, ця військова кампанія, вона є алогічна, абсолютно. Коли читати навіть російських військових аналітиків перед нападом Росії, то вони казали, що того війська 150 тисяч, які вони зібрали на кордонах України, цього є замало, щоб захопити Україну. І перші дні показали, що цього було справді замало, і це військо є небоєздатне. Техніка погана, сполучення, логістика погана, вони не мали довезення своїх бензини чи пального. Вони мали проблеми з харчуванням, тому що тим військовим російським видали пайки, цю харчі на 2-3 дня з розрахунку, що вони за 2-3 дня мали би закінчити кампанію. І ось вони вже 9 чи 10 день мерзнуть десь в українських полях, і українці винищують по 1000 військових приблизно на день. Але вся проблема в тому, що ця військова кампанія, вона є аналогічна, бо за нею стоїть Путін, людина з якимись маніакальними, породливими уявами в голові, яка контролює цілу Росію. І тому ми бачимо, що вони перейшли до бомбардування цивільного населення, українських міст. Теж вони робили в кампаніях Чечні, а потім в Сирії, в Алепо. Але там йшлося про одне місто, а тут ми вже говоримо як мінімум про 3 величезних міста. Це є Чернігів, це є Харків, це є Київ, плюс маса маленьких містечок прифронтових, які знаходяться під Києвом, які підлягають масовому бомбардуванню цивільного населення. І ми вже сьогодні говоримо, що біля 1 мільйона українців покинули Україну. Це при тому, що це покидають молоді люди, це жінки, це є діти. Тобто це цей потенціальний ресурс український, який мав потім працювати на ту державу. Ми вже маємо 1 мільйон біженців. Тепер ми маємо новий виклик, що ці неадеквати мало що вони захопили Чорнобильську атомну електростанцію і самі переїхали через цю Чорнобильську зону, підняли пил, який там лежав своєю бронетехнікою, і самі піддалися опроміненню радіоактивному. Тепер вони захопили найбільшу атомну станцію в Європі. Тому я думаю, що це є дуже небезпечно. Не знаю, на що вони можуть вдатися, але дуже важливо цей заклад, який зараз підписували до країн НАТО, щоб вони закрили небо, так зване небо над Україною, тобто, щоб всі літальні об'єкти, які відбуваються, чи ракети, які пускають над Україною, щоб вони могли збивати їх. Бо ми, справді, програємо повітря, у нас маємо менше військово-повітряного флоту, ми маємо менше літаків, якими ми можемо це робити. І це для нас, і ми не можемо достатньо ефективно відбивати ті ракети, які летять в житлові будинки. Тому це є проблема, яка найважливіша проблема. І це є якраз закріплення до України. Від себе ми робимо також обіцянки, що ми щоденно формуємо світову спільноту, сумівців, ми висилаємо, що робиться кожен день, яка статистика, якісь місці спорту. Тому ми насилаємо на світову право, на країну право, щоб ви могли це поширювати. А також ми маємо і англомовний такий інстаграм-сторінку, де ми теж весь світ намагаємося публікувати різними мовами про те, що відбувається. Так коротко, не знаю. І запрошую українські Карпати.
Дякую, Святе. В цей час, як спеціально, скажімо, в Тернополі, як наша молодь тримається, як вони це вивчилися, як вони це відчувають? В Тернополі, наша молодь, загалом, як там все, я знаю, що в Тернополі це не є Чернігів, це не є Харків, це не є Донбас, але все ж таки очевидно переживають, але як вони всі допомагають нашим
Я думаю, що в Тернополі є, в перші дні дуже відчувалася паніка, бо всі переживали, що війна швидко закінчиться і всі мало приклалися до перемоги. Тому люди робили все, що могли, робили коктейлі Молотова, хоча вони не можуть довго стояти, плетуть сітки, тобто всі хочуть щось зробити, щоб долучитися до перемоги. І це було таке дуже інтенсивно в перші дні, особливо. Тому всі щось роблять, навіть люди, на жаль, які фахові, які працюють в IT-сфері чи ще десь, то записувалися в територіальну оборону, що вони не вміють стріляти, але люди хотіли хоч чимось долучитися таким безпосередньо. Тому я думаю, що логістика вона не є така ще дуже добре напрацьована, можливо, кожен міг бути ефективніший в якійсь іншій сфері, але всі роблять то, що можна. У мене безпосередньо зупинилося 12 сумівців з Києва, які переїхали, які розроблять цю інформаційну речі, які працюють. Ми навіть зробили онлайн-сходини і щорачну касту для сум'ят і молодшого юнацтва, що ми читаємо. Якщо ви дуже хочете, я можу запросити Андрія Гайдамаку, він зараз тут у мене.
Прошу дуже, так.
Я запитаюся, чи він захоче кілька слів сказати зараз це.
Дякую, Свят, якщо можеш.
Всі мобілізовані, всі досить активні, і кожен десь має своє місце, всі працюють на фронт, на перемогу.
Дякую. Свят, так, очевидно, як Андрій може долучитися і хоче дещо сказати. Добре, дякую. Леся, поки Свят почекає. Як є наші друзі в Києві? Я знаю, що ти до минулого тижня в Києві була, ти працюєш в Києві. Як наша молодь в Києві цей час? Бо фактично, так як ми всі знаємо, той напад на Київ є дуже близько. Кажуть, що вже цілий тиждень говорять, що ніби Київ паде за день, але ми бачимо, що Київ тримається в цей час. Можеш дещо нам розповісти про Київ? Не знаю, Леся, чи чула, чи не чула? Добре. Артусь, Андрію, вітаємо вас від всіх наших українців тут в Мельбурні. Не знаю, може нас чути добре, Андрію?
Чути, так, Артусь, вітаємо вас з України.
Артусь, я знаю, Андрію, ти вже, може, з 30 років вже, очевидно, в Києві живеш. Розкажи нам, як на твоїх очах, як все тепер, очевидно, я знаю, в Тернополі, але в Києві, як все відбувається? Так, як я говорив перед тим, тут в пресі вже говорять цілий тиждень, що Київ паде за день, за два, але ми бачимо, що Київ тримають в наших руках. Від тебе, що ти чуєш, що ти бачиш?
Часто мені об'єктивну картину давати, але переживаємо дуже сильно тим, що сталося. Ніхто не сподівався, що буде така війна, така підступна, і жорстока, і жорстка. Наші дуже добре підготовлені і дуже добре тримають і на півночі, і на сході, і на півдні. Але не далі наступають. Нині представитель від міністра оборони, що тримаються і що це наступні дні буде перелом в користь України. Дай Боже, щоб воно так сталося. Дуже сильно відчуває Україна підтримки Заходу. Такої підтримки, я думаю, за весь період після Другої світової війни ніколи не було щодо України. А то якраз тому, що Україна стала з'єднаною одним фронтом, одним словом, одним лицем супроти дикого ворога, і це імпонує. Це світ побачив, Європа побачила, що Україна є цивілізована, західна, висококультурна і мужня країна.
Дякую, Андрію. Чи хтось тут має такі запити, чи до Святослава, чи до Андрія, чи до Леші в цей час?
Розумієш, так?
Не знаю, чи хтось має якісь запити. Прошу до мікрофону, щоб не чули.
Це дуже коротко, свято великого інстаграм-сторінку.
Артусь, а не знати, чи Свят десь там є, чи він чує нас, чи... Ага, привіт, Свят. Мене звати Михайло. Питання до вас. Ви казали щось про інстаграм-сторінку особисто. Ви можете, мабуть, нам подати цю сторінку, щоб ми подивилися, коли ви зможете.
Питаю на лінк на інстаграм-сторінку.
Треба буде, тому що ми попередньо обіжнику для останньому, а перед тим ми не дістали якраз той лінк, там є, але ми і в сьогоднішньому обіжнику знову поновимо і подамо лінк на цю сторінку. Ukrainian International, вона, здається, називається.
Ukrainian.
Наші дівчата, які тут перебувають, вони в перший день вони приклали на 15 мов, більше з китайською, з ідиш, арабською навіть, тому ми таки намагалися робити.
Добре, дякую.
Чи є якісь інші запити? Any other questions? Don't be shy. Even if it's in English, it's okay. We can translate it for them. Ніхто?
It's in English.
That's okay.
What's the food situation like there? Do they have enough food or supermarkets? What are they like?
Питання в цей час я до всіх вас питаю, як є справа з їжею, чи є в магазинах, чи є що їсти, можна купити, як ситуація з їжею, так загально гуманітарної сторінки.
Проблема, що ми знаходимося, це не проблема для нас, ми знаходимося на західній Україні, де взагалі жодних, не все продається, все можна купити, але є міста, які відрізані, той самий Київ, який має погане сполучення зараз, щоб довозити їжу, тому що його оточують, вони вточили, але все ж таки це велике місто, ми не знаємо, скільки зараз там лишилося населення, 3 мільйони може. Це є ці проблеми з містами. Харків, тепер ми знаємо про Маріуполь, ми знаємо на півдні про Холова, такі менші міста, які є в оточенні російського війська, то, на жаль, ми не знаємо, яка там ситуація. Тобто, принаймні, ми знаємо, що там погано, але є ще критично, тому що запаси їжі були, і взагалі казали, що в Україні є в складах до мінімум на 2 тижні різноманітних продуктів, що забезпечить повністю все. Але проблема, що кілька міст є відрізані, навіть якщо навіть включиться, навіть яка є в Чернігові, це північ України, щоб передати зараз якісь речі, діти чи щось інше, то ми шукаємо логістику, тому що багато міст відрізаних, щоб добратися до них складніше. Тому це проблема наступних днів. Якщо ми не зможемо відбити ті міста, то там може бути гуманітарні проблеми. І зараз вчора на переговорах з москалями говорилось про гуманітарні коридори, щоб завести людям якісь речі, вивезти важкохворих і таке подібне.
Дякую. Other questions? Інші запити? Яку в цей час ви від Заходу, чи то з Європи, чи де не було, ви бачите гуманітарну допомогу? Чи вона вже тепер починає доходити? І чи далі ще є труднощі через границю ту гуманітарну допомогу довести до вас?
Я бачу, що у нас зараз десь не активно, але ми знаємо, що навіть сьогодні має приїхати величезна фура, величезний багаж сум Німеччини, що сум Європі збирало, що вони окремо зібрали і перевозять. Тобто є проблеми на західному кордоні передати. Ми маємо проблеми з військовими речами, але ми не знаємо, з іншого боку, ми не маємо інформації, тому що це по лінії Міністерства оборони, тому що все ж таки це не партизанська війна, але це є ця держава встала, і ми не знаємо зараз відносно тої підтримки, яку подають західні союзники в зброї, в спорядженні, тому що вони йде по каналах державних, але насправді на кордоні зараз дуже швидко перевозять речі туди чи інше, але нас зараз доповнить.
Так, Гартусь, ще раз. Ми знаємо про те, що всі гуманітарні конвої зараз дуже легко і за спрощеними системами йдуть в Україну. І на складах зберігається і довозиться дуже багато речей такого соціального, людського спрямування, тобто одяг, продукти, засоби гігієни, воно завозиться все в Україну. І так, як сказав Святослав, так, що з військовими поставками трохи гірше, бо все, що можна було купити в найближчих країнах, тобто Польща, Німеччина, масово викупляється. І тепер треба тратити більше часу на пошук якихось певних речей військового спрямування в усій Європі. Але навіть ті самі бронежилети, які є засобами захисту, вони вважаються військовими речами і їх важче трохи перевозити. Це не означає, що неможливо. Ми шукаємо варіанти. На жаль, з 2014 року багато наших сумівців вже з 2014 року знають, як ці схеми робити, через кого можна замовляти, через кого можна поставляти. Бо протягом всіх цих останніх років, відколи Росія почала агресію на Україну, наше військо забезпечувалося і силами Збройних сил, і силами ветеранів. Тож шукаємо всі можливості, які можна, а на кордоні йдуть дуже сильно тепер на зустріч на всіх кордонах. І ввезення в Україну зараз нормальне і можливе. Але доставка до тих регіонів, які зараз справді гарячими і потребуючими, трохи утруднена. Ми намагаємося шукати канали, способи доставки речей туди, і на це зараз направлено дуже багато нашої діяльності. Дякую.
Дякую. Дякую, Лесю. Чи можу запитати вас в цей час з вашої сторони, що вам потрібно від нас, від діаспори? Таке загальний запит. То завжди тут люди запитують, що ми можемо робити, що ми повинні робити, щоб вам допомогти.
Ми далі потребуємо величезного резонансу в світі. Ми бачимо, що світ дуже сильно нас підтримує. Але є певні вимоги, зокрема, як закрите небо над Україною від вторгнення з неба, від загрози зовнішньої, такої небесної. Це принаймні уможливить тут на землі воювати, бо наша армія дуже сильна на землі. Але було б ще добре, якби небо було закрите, щоб з нього нічого не падало, щоб люди могли працювати і виконувати свою роботу без загрози ракетного удару згори. Тому треба далі максимально поширювати інформацію і засуджувати дії Росії і проводити оці кібератаки на їхні сайти, все, що можна доносити людям. Бо, на жаль, російське громадянство є заляканим, не знаю, переляканим, зашуманим, і вони не готові сприймати взагалі, що в Україні війна, і вони далі не бачать, що йде якась загроза з боку їхньої країни в іншій країні. І те, що ми чуємо історії, які люди переказують один одному, що рідні сестри не вірять один одному, бо одна живе в Москві і каже, ми нарешті вас врятували, і вас тепер чудова Росія буде так само, як в нас, а їй показують фотографії, що люди в бомбосховищі, кажуть, дивись, я ж твоя рідна сестра, ти мені не віриш, я сиджу в бомбосховищі і не можу з хати вийти, дивися, що робиться. Ти мене обманюєш, це все пропаганда. То ми говоримо про величезний рівень зажурованості і страху, і поки Росія мусить теж піднімати бунт зсередини, але мало ймовірно, що вони не здатні на це. Тому ми теж мусимо і на це теж працювати. Всередину країни запихати нашу інформацію, нашу пропаганду про те, що відбувається, нашу правду.
Дякую, Лесю. Свята, Андрій, хочете щось додати до того?
Важко зараз додати, тому що у нас дуже час стислений, де ми кожну хвилину слідкуємо, що знову чи годину і лягаємо спати, не знаємо, зранку прикидаємося з якими новинами. Але я думаю, що ми мусимо всі готуватися до того, що навіть коли ми переможемо, нам треба буде якусь затяжну допомогу по відновленню України. І я думаю, що це теж справа, як піднімати це питання в західному світі. Тому що Україна розбомблена, в країні буде тисячі сиріт, тисячі інвалідів, військових і все інше. Тобто я думаю, що треба говорити про якийсь там план Маршалла. Це на майбутнє. Але я думаю, що тут зараз треба будь-яку допомогу, тобто, щоб від пожертв до молитви, щоб всі були мобілізовані і розуміли, що ми розуміємо, що це не може тривати вічно, коли закінчиться. Але зараз є дуже важливий цей час, але і пам'ятати, що це треба буде і на роки на майбутнє, що це треба мобілізовувати ресурси.
Дякую. Хтось ще має якісь запити в цей час? Ми не бачимо, що Неля в цей час очевидно ще не може долучитися. Не знаю точно, що відбувається. Я можу в цей час Свят, Лесю, дякуємо вам, і Андрію так само. Ви можете залишитися в цей час, або можете відключитися, якщо маєте дещо інші справи. В цей час ми попросимо Наталію Poshyvaylo-Towler, яка вернулася з Полтави, з України, десь 10 днів тому. Там перебувала через 6-7 тижнів. Зараз і на наші свята, і так як кажу, 10 днів тому. So now I'll ask Nataliya Poshyvaylo-Towler to come and tell us about her experiences of being in Ukraine for 6 or 7 weeks from straight after Nataliya, right through until 10 days ago. And obviously with those that follow her on Facebook will realise the problems she had in getting out as well. So it'd be good to hear from Nataliya.
I'm glad to see everyone. So yeah, I've returned as a presentation and I tell you about my experience. I haven't slept really for at least 4 months because I had turbulent times in Australia before departure. COVID really hit hard. I lost my job, I went to camp, and then on return from camp I booked my ticket and flew on the 4th of January to Ukraine. I haven't seen snow in 20 years. Finally, I did a beautiful winter. Let's start from very good news. I had amazing winter. Michael really enjoyed it. It was the best winter of my life because I came back to the age when I was 19 or 21. Soft snowflakes, -5. We just walk and enjoy. There is no wind. It was just beautiful. It was -2, -5. Kyiv was amazing. As a pumpkin city. I did see, everyone seen those beautiful pictures with Sofia Kyivska and lots of lights and people celebrating outside. I was there with my mom and dad and with my family. Music playing, people genuinely sang together carols, ukrainsky kolядки. It was a beautiful atmosphere. I just really enjoyed it. We were there for 4 days at the beginning and then I went to different cities. So over my second. No, is it first or second? Yeah, so you see there's some of my mom and dad and Michael in Poltava. So every city had a beautiful decoration, like main square with the Christmas lights and something special about it. I didn't know how long I had, so I didn't put all pictures here, just very glimpses of it. I was lucky enough to see Kyiv, Poltava and Odessa. 3 cities, they were amazing. Probably it was blessed in the sky because I did see Ukraine in the best. You know, I was again 21, walking on those streets, and I enjoyed it. People complaining about snow, and I loved it. So of course you can see food, halushki, poltavsky halushki, and borscht. So massive celebration. So my view of Ukraine, beautiful roads. I love everything online, you know, like we're all addicted to phones. I was in the right place there because everything was live on the smartphone. I downloaded all the apps for my parents. I taught my mom how to use it. She already did in the past. She used internet banking, so it wasn't that hard. Dad is a little bit behind. So I was really into this life, and we had to go to Odessa to look after my elderly mom's brother, my uncle. So I'm a person who never paid electricity bill or any communal bill in Ukraine. I haven't lived there for 20 years. So I had to actually become an adult in a way, look after my parents, look after my uncle, pay those bills, find out how to pay those bills, how to make appointments in administration, local administration, find the lost documents for my uncle in Odessa. Come on, I'm from Poltava. So I had like a really diving experience. It was tough, I tell you, it was tough. At some point, coming from Odessa to Kyiv, I had a meeting with a few people there, and I forgot my luggage on a train. I left, sat in a taxi, took off, and then almost arriving to home, I said, something's missing there. My suitcase. Because it was very intense. Honestly, I don't know how I survived all of that. Because I'm in a small apartment, a two-room apartment with Michael, mom, and dad. And my mom is 70, and dad is 74. You know, they don't need all of this, but they got into the life, and I had to move my mom. Odessa, you know, if you hear about, Odessa being a bit iffy or welcoming Russians or whatever, everyone spoke Ukrainian to me. Even people from Azerbaijan and Armenia, I had the best time. Because, when you go with open heart and you're not cheap, you pay your way, you're just genuinely asking for help, I had amazing response. It was good experience with any taxi drivers. Administration was, I haven't dealt with any city councils here, but they called me for my appointment, confirming I'm coming. Don't be late because it's only 10 minutes allocation. I say, I'm coming with someone who's disabled. So, okay, I run in, they allocate 2 people to wait for me, and had documents ready. I sent the documents via Viber, so they had pre-populated documents to fit in my schedule. So, honestly, things have changed and moved on, and of course there is lots of restaurants, there is lots of food, there is celebrations going on and on. So it was very, very good experience. Even tough, but it was progressive. I was in a progressive state. So that's in Poltava. We had Malanka celebrations in different areas. So this lady in the museum, again, you can purchase the ticket and go and we share food, and there is like a cultural talk and everyone singing and dancing. Basically at the end of this celebration, we're all united. And then this is group, again, was call on Facebook, everyone who wants to go and walk on the streets and sing carols, come to the cathedral. I went with Michael, and there was lots of people came, just strangers, all united, rehearsed for a couple of times and walked Main Street to the main square and sang songs, and then there was some food at the end. So I loved it. I wanted more of all of this. So, and then the atmosphere, because I'm part of Ukrainian World Congress and been Vice President of South Pacific, I know the updates that people don't want to know. I sat on the meetings at night and at day, so I'm telling people, look, it's a high alert. So when I left Australia, there was the defect alert. Ukraine 2. 2, it means travel with caution. Okay, I can travel with caution, fine. Not even, it's not green, but it's the next stage up. So then, these pictures started appearing on the street. So basically, enroll into territorial defense forces. And I'm telling my parents, look, we need to get prepared. It's a higher danger. There is a Joe Biden announcing attack is on the 9th of February. So we have to actually be prepared. There are zero people believe me, zero. Nobody believed me. So was heartbreaking because on the 9th of February, that was the day I meant to leave. But we stayed behind because Michael had COVID and my dad had COVID, and I'm a main care of Michael. Of course, COVID is very important to Australia. Australia loves COVID dearly. So if you have COVID, you would never enter Australia ever. Even in the war zone, people still completed those forms. Returning citizen or whatever, people who enter, they have to complete this form. It's another story. So, on one hand, I was a consulate on the phone. They said, get away from Poltava, somewhere, just hire a car, drive with your elderly parents or with your son somewhere to Zakarpattia, but don't stay there, but don't come to Australia. I said, look, I've got driver's license. I'm driving in Australia on a different side of the road. I haven't driven in Ukraine for many years, and I'm not where I'm gonna get a car. And my parents have very old cars, so there is, you're making my life difficult, not easier. But we follow procedures. We gave you advice. So we left with that. So I was on the 9th of February. I was so stressed. I was searching on the for bomb shelters. Pedro, can you move further? Yeah. So I was so stressed, and it was a very stressful day. I got like positive COVID result the day before. So I was searching for bomb shelters using Google Maps on the iPad I got from Australia. So I went through Ministry of Defense website, found my city. There was 6 bomb shelters. So I just was taking screenshots and looking was the closest one, how to get there in street view. I was probably the only person in Poltava who did it. No one believed me. And the street view, we can go next time. You see there's a sign, so there's I'm taking addresses, there's the closest address to my parents on the same street. There's 0 bomb shelters worked. They were all closed, not maintained, guarded with some rubbish, old stuff, or used for storage, like Komori. Potato storage is good with the bomb shelters. It was very stressful. So that night I was waking up like every hour, looking in the window, looking for the explosions. It was extremely stressful. Michael was asking me, Mom, so what's going to happen? So he thinks it's a computer game. And he develops his ideas even more and more. I don't want to hear his ideas. I'm just like, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that doesn't happen. It was probably the worst night and day in my life for immediate danger from unknown sources, or known sources, but so large I can't, I just have to defend myself. So they're watching news, and the next day, following this, we have enough. Let's go to Dacha, the little house near the river, and let's prepare. Let's get some food, water, and candles. My dad resisted. He resisted, but we made some supplies. We moved some supplies there, and actually had a nice, relaxing, I can say, day. We checked the house. It's okay. It's not for winter, but can do for a couple of weeks there. I was sleeping closed, fully closed. If we have to, but it was just awful. Next day again, I had lots of meetings in the city with the city council, with different parties. I went on television probably twice in Poltava, I was in Kyiv, and I'm asking these politicians, look, I'm looking for bomb shelter, are they open? None of them have taken responsibility, saying, but this is the local budget, they have to look after it. And I said, look, there is street view, there is bushes going around it, where is the entry? And bomb shelters, but total capacity would be 5,000 people for a city of 300,000, so it's not enough. And I'm talking to guys who are very brave. They've been already in war in 2014, and they're volunteering. They're going they're enrolling again in the army. But say, look, you saved thousands of lives. if you just put an arrow there, clear the rubbish, make people safe. But I was a Messiah coming from, nobody thought about these things. So I guess Ukrainians are very peaceful and they don't think in terms of war. And so spring is coming, we have to look after our gardens and plant potatoes, grow everything. What war? It's not in our schedule, but Putin has different schedule. So it's a dramatic situation, but some partially people are responsible for themselves as well. And I didn't see that communal responsibility. Yes, individuals are very brave. And all my friends, we had this very honest conversation. They were enrolled in territorial defense forces. They were enrolled, they had guns, so we prepared. We're gonna kill every invader from our windows, from our houses, the individuals, they're ready. And these people who have amazing businesses, they go travel every 4 weeks somewhere in Europe for a weekend. They live extremely comfortable lives, but they were armed and they're ready. But as the communal thinking, I didn't see that preparedness even from the local government. So that's news we did see. So my story, how it ended up, was dramatic to the point of exit. Ukraine didn't want to leave me, let me go, sorry, because this lovely Australian form of register, because you're not COVID infected. And you have to prove you don't have traces, okay, you get this, I'm shaken. It costs money, it's not free, every time you go have test, you pay about $45 Australian dollars. It's lots of money for Ukrainians as well, but I had like 6 tests done. Just to make sure, on the day I need it, I'm clear. And we get free PCR tests, domestic tests. You have to purchase it, and again, you pay $12 Australian each time. But COVID is not considered a problem. People just mess around with it. Honestly, they just go by antivirals and fine. So 4.5 hours of completion therefore. When they logged me out, I had to print somewhere. My parents don't have print, and mom had to go and search on Saturday for some communal printer to print it. It's not like you go to the library. So these little things that's not considered in the Western world, it's there. You have to better. So I'm sending these pictures of screenshots to Paul, trying to combine PDF files and not combinable. And then basically end up sending pictures, screenshots to my mom via Viber, and she went to some internet cafe she had to find and print it. For what? For checking in at the airport, and ended up, system crashed on my name when I was checking in. And an hour and 40 minutes later, they hadn't written my boarding pass. If you haven't seen person who had handwritten the boarding pass, it was me. So it's like we're walking to the airplane because Michael had printed the boarding pass, but it just crashed because the system didn't recognize my passport in Australia, the Australian passport. So I departed. Finally, I departed. It was a heavy heart because I didn't put pictures of us going on the bus from Holova to Kyiv. It was clear blue sky, the beautiful land that's just waiting for spring. There was hardly any, army activities. We did see 2 army trucks, but very small. There's nothing dramatic or not like a heavy machinery movement there. And there's this province, and wow, Ukraine is so beautiful and peaceful. And just want to be there, really, I want to remain there. There's the abundance of work to do, but you can see the progress, you can see how it's moving, it's got this nice vibe and energy, and people really enjoy it and hungry for more, for development. All the people, they do struggle, I'll be honest, pensioners, because they don't cope with technology. And probably the children don't explain them technology that well. So it's the same progress here, anything, very similar. Screens are too small, eyesight is not helping. There is no motor skills anymore there to operate those computers or iPads, whatever. Same there. But I personally loved it. So, day after I arrived, I woke up. I was actually watching United Nations Assembly live. This is what I do in my spare time. So I was listening to all speakers. It was very enlightening. And then I found out about war started from our representative in United Nations speaking and tuning to the chairman of United Nations, the Russian man, and saying, look, can I play video that's when your president addressed the nation 40 minutes ago and announced special operation? And the Russian chair said, no, it's not in our timetable, you can't play video. I have no knowledge that war has started. And it's just lie after lie after lie. Today, actually, I had enough bravery to watch Lavrov, Mr. Lavrov, it's foreign minister of Russia, his presentation, his speech to the press. So he fronted the press and was about 40 minutes talk. I recommend everyone to watch it. You know, Ukraine fight is not over. It's extremely serious. Like, I won't be surprised if they form a nuclear plant. My predictions are green, really, because listening to Lavrov, I have no delusion about what they means. And his point is, look, we said it 7.5 years ago, we want it back. You know, you're not compliant with our ideas. So Ukrainians do display examples of courage. Some information about amazing acts of courage. Like 3 days ago, Zelensky, when he addressed the nation, he announced first 12 heroes of Ukraine. Find this information, listen about what these people done. I was crying. It's like every man or woman that listed there done, and not only sacrificed their lives, they saved hundreds of people and millions of dollars of technology. Like for example, in Holova region, there are 2 aviation bases, army air bases. One in Holova, one is in Melbourne. So the first day, on 24th, Melbourne was bombed. And it's a big, active airfield. And one of the key pilots, he was a world champion in 2008 and 2009. And his picture, I forgot his name now, I posted it on Facebook on my page. You can see this poor man, I don't know, 50, 55, or about 55, right here. He jumped on airplane, he got into combat, shot one plane down and one helicopter, and led his people to move other planes from the airfield and saved massive losses of airplanes for Ukrainian army, but he died in this combat. But if you think about the skill of this person, of the world champion, it's irreplaceable. You probably heard about the young officer, engineer, who didn't have time to escape, but he blew up himself on a bridge. Again, skills. Think about army engineer. He could do anything in the world. He could build any bridge. And he was 35 and he died, saving his mates, in the full Ukrainian nation. Okay, so it's more than heartbreaking. So finally, my parents are in a shelter, sitting in Poltava. Someone, they cleared it, they all went there because the air raids started coming in, like, honestly, 15 days after I told them. Finally, this bad wake-up call came, and all the neighbors got together, opened it, and and cleared it, and so when the ear sirens going on, they go down. But at night, they don't even go down because it's too hard. It's like we're exhausted morally, it's physically not easy. It's like -5 or 0, everything is melting and freezing. Just everything gray, and they feel optimistic, but not, you know, that everyone wants it to end. That's the key. On the other hand, those people who, my friends who went to territorials, they really pumped, let's say, that Poltava's ready, but they're ready for on the ground attack, but not from air. This is the problem, that's correct, that Sviat was talking about. So sky is extremely important, because there is no protection from bombs. Again, we have a family check in Lypovetsky. There was about 20 of us, my family. So we moved, like they moved from Kyiv to Poltava area as well, but more to the north, where Sumy region is. And if you follow the war, in Sumy there was a massive attack coming from Kharkiv and Sumy. So think, I don't know what's your image of Ukraine. Maybe someone thinks about Karpaty, but my image of Ukraine is this fields, sunflower fields, hot, sleepy areas, and people just walk on their land. You know, nothing's happening from generation to generation. They love that land and work and work. And I'm watching these two girls, probably 14, sitting in some bushes, filming an army column. The video is of 2 minutes. And they're just filming the tanks coming past and past and past. It's a gray morning, everything is gray. 200 units of armed vehicles. It's beyond scary, honestly. It's a huge tragedy for the world. So if we move now to what we can do and what Ukrainians around the world do, and Ukrainian World Congress, every community, you heard about Stand by Ukraine. Yeah? Stand with Ukraine or Stand by Ukraine. Flash mobs or activities, meetings. Yeah, it's been going on from 22nd of January, the Day of Unity, you know, the Sobornosti, Day Sobornosti Ukraine. So when the West and East united in 1919. So that's still going on and on around the world, and the world is behind Ukraine. I personally wrote to all 33 MPs and senators that's been given instructions by before. I followed the instructions. I modified the list. You know, I don't know which website, either email them directly or some website. I got automatic replies. I haven't got a physical reply yet. I'm expecting it. With my video Союз Ukraine, we are working, there is medical supply going to Poland recently, just someone was flying, so quickly got some supplies from Australia so she could take it with her. The lady was flying yesterday. With some other local battles, we were battling, was trying to stop Russian concerts going on in Australia, in Melbourne. It's interesting, I've been on the call for this federal police, reporting people who's on the Mirotvorets list. You know, the Mirotvorets, the peacemaker in Ukraine, people who've been to Crimea, featured in propaganda films, but they've been led to Australia and performing at the concert. The Glen Ira facility has cancelled concert, and the Sydney facility has cancelled concert, but these people who are organizing it, they're holding it tonight in some secret place. So yesterday I was dealing with it, and we found out a secret place. My girlfriend bought a ticket for $90 in January. So Ukrainians do all those things to try to get through. So because looking back from the group where I was selling it, so, I emailed the venue, but I haven't had a reply. So I don't know if it went ahead or not, because I notified the federal, local police, and another local police. Talking to constable, saying, look, he was saying, they haven't committed any crime, I can't stop it. So there is a possible COVID breaches, you have to check them. Yeah, they could laugh at me.
Він чув сказати пару слова.
Слава Ісусу Христу! Владико, дуже голово, пане голово Української громади Вікторії. Я думаю, що Владика, як почали, сказали, що ми можемо найбільше зробити це наразі молитися. Крім того, є багато чого, що ми, як люди, можемо зробити. І крім того, що ми вийшли на вулицю, хочу сказати вам, що зі сторони світового конгресу українців, зі сторони СУА, є певні кроки, які ми робимо. Я почну від імміграції. Я вас дуже прошу, як когось знаєте, don't interpret what you don't know anything about. Tourism visa 600. Крапка. Ми домовилися з урядом, over 1,000 visas, they're done. Don't interpret. I was just sitting here, I got 3 phone calls. I know how to get through the humanitarian one. I know how to get the refugee one. You can do it. If you want to wait for 6 months or 12 months, you can. If you want a tourist visa and you want to get out now, do the tourist one. По-друге, humanitarian aid. Ми маємо одну маленьку проблему. Зі сторони уряду. Уряд вже вислав допомогу. $100-something million worth of aid, military, lethal, non-lethal. Yesterday was the first airlift. We're in contact with the Prime Minister on a regular basis, with the Minister for Immigration every day. One of the problems with humanitarian, and this afternoon I've just appointed a humanitarian coordinator, Lesia. Liz works with Ukrainian Policy University. One of the biggest problems is airlift. So you go and collect a lot of stuff, and Stefan, I know you want to help, you're on that committee. What we're asking the Minister for is an airlift. No point collecting a lot of stuff here, because you can't get it there. And when you get it there, you've got to get it over the border. So we're now asking the Minister for an airlift. Once we know that the airlift is done, we will ask people to provide support. In terms of lethal aid, the Australian government has, I met with the Prime Minister on Tuesday, they have now agreed that they will give that lethal aid. They have given, I think, from memory, $50 million to NATO to buy whatever has to be bought. So that's what's happening. Що далі? Сьогодні вночі ми мали термінову зустріч із заступником міністра закордонних справ України. We had a meeting at 2 in the morning. Please help us with no-fly zone. That's the biggest problem at the moment. So this evening I'll be meeting with General Wes Clark, who's from America. We have to have a rationale why you can fly over. If one of the biggest problems is you fly over NATO or America, it's a war. It's a full-scale war. But there are reasons why. Also, one of the things that we have now here in Australia and connected internationally, we now have William Lai, who's a Queen's Counsel, has put together a group of lawyers, pro bono, who are now working on with the international courts. Something that we've put out there a long time ago. We said some time ago, Putin, he needs to be tried. Whether Nuremberg took a long time, but one day it will all come to fruition. So we've got that. Internationally, they're doing that as well through the Ukrainian World Congress. We now have an office in Bramage about getting things through, and and again, I just want to give you a few nuances, because one of the problems we have in the community is we're trying to coordinate things. Everybody says, "Oh, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that?" You can just ship the roads open and trucks can go. Yes, the big trucks can go. Metnice vas stremuje, plate. Uku and others have done it through smaller cars. They've worked out the system. So there are systems in place. Just now, Zaporizhzhia, the nuclear base has now been taken by the Russians. One thing that the Minister said yesterday, the government is working, we saw yesterday the Parliament was working, the fact that the resilience is amazing. The resilience is amazing. And sooner or later, you know, there'll be an outcome. In terms of what tomorrow holds, we don't know. But one thing is that they're very, very resilient, and the key people, whether it be the president, whether it be Poshyvaylo-Towler, whether it be Poshyvaylo-Towler, the Ukrainian leadership is not going anywhere. So I think that's a very strong message to everybody. Here, just on what some of the things, and depending where you sit in society and what you do in life, there's room for everybody. We've got the vodka off, vodka's gone. We've handed others, co-chair in America, in Sydney, are working on goods. We've arranged with the Maritime Union. The Maritime Union has written to the Prime Minister that they won't shift Russian goods. Stock market. Today, the biggest superannuation company has sold off its Russian, or is selling off its Russian assets. And the name of the game now internationally is this. We want to isolate Russia. So we've got 180 countries that have voted for Ukraine, Eritrea, Syria, voted for Russia. Why? Because they're beholden to Russian money. But the fact is the world has now isolated them. In terms of economy, the ruble has fallen, the stock market has fallen, and ultimately, this is the match plan. I'll just go one step back. Well, you have to Poshyvaylo, but the big yachts, the big thing. Наши діти вмирають, or they're maimed. We started the camp in Australia, we're checking whether there are any children oligarchs studying here. But in America, and in Canada, and in England, we're trying to isolate them and say, pack up your bags, getting governments to say, pack up your bags, go home to mama and papa, and when the war's over, you come back. But it's not fair that our children are dying and you're living in luxury. And the other thing is, from Australia, some of you guys here have been involved in that Magnitsky thing. The Magnitsky Act is now, it's operative. They want to confiscate assets. And to put it in plain language, what do we want to do? We want to be able to say to an oligarch, you imagine if you've got a yacht, you've got lots of money, and you come to your big house, and there's a lock on the door, and it says, you can't get in. You have a credit card, you put it in the ATM machine, it says, decline. That's where we have to hit people now. And that's the intention of the international community. Last night we had a meeting, the Americans had a conference. You know, national security, we can talk as much as we like, but we've got to bow our heads to the people in Ukraine because they're doing a great job. Молим се, демонстрати се и я не знам какво точно мисля ще скажа про. We did the $1 million mark for Ukraine, it's called Ukraine crisis, Ukraine crisis appeal. Ledeta's working through Caritas. We're also working through Caritas and through Rotary. We have, for example, just give you an example, one of the vodka companies, Australian vodka companies, has donated $50,000, $15 for every bottle they sell. We have other companies saying, we'll give you this. For people who are тут из Верховения, из Черемшу, неделю я попросил Marco. We meet with somebody from Rotary in North Melbourne. Вони бачили в церкві, за цим Петром. Верховина, Черемош, Lahanda, Inchi. Rotary is prepared to put on a concert. 500 people, X number of dollars per ticket, and they want to do that. So we have more and more of that. So that's where we're at. And дякую всім. Я думаю, Slawko скаже, що далі думаємо відносно вулиці. Завтра вечір 6 годині Lahanda has a performance in Sped Square. Ми, можливо, далі будемо робити ті маніфестації. On the front, on the website, there's a lot of data to immigration. We just so you understand the process, right? At the moment we're on what do you call it, tourist visa. You come here as a tourist, you get nothing, no Medicare, nothing. So we've now discussed with the Prime Minister and also with the Minister for Immigration in the next couple of days, hopefully,
they will change that will give us that special humanitarian program, which means they will have all the benefits. So, what is our job? Once that happens, all the service agencies take it over, right? So they take over language teaching, they take over health, they take over. Nasha Roya with that to be the conduit. We're putting when I met with the Prime Minister on Tuesday, he said how much you need for the community to contribute. So we're now we've got a proposal to him for a couple of $1 million where we can put it to, if showing policy. Romaniw, тут Sydney, всюди people who can work and ultimately be the conduits, and then make sure that if children need to go in schools, they go in schools. One of the things that we're going to have to deal with is torture and trauma. Those children have been through torture and trauma. They've been through a war. Doesn't stop our kids. We need our kids. Some of our kids, from what I hear, are also suffering because we need to So there's a lot of work to be done, and we're trying from a national and international perspective to keep a lid on the excitement, because the excitement goes, everybody goes off on their own tangent, and all of a sudden, you know, we've got, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing this? Everything, as the Prime Minister said, work with us, we'll do it by stages. If I tell you everything now, what do I do when the Russians take the next step? I've got nothing else to do. So, дякую всім тим, які приходять на ті манифестації. We're in for the long haul. Слава Україні!
Stefan же в speech сказал, так и він сказал, we're here for the long haul. Ostatni tydzień, 6 тут в Romaniw, we're getting phone calls 24/7, emails, messenger, SMSs. Tak багато людей з нами хочуть нам допомогти в різних способах. З того всього виходять три головні речі, які ми стараємося зробити. Чотири речі. Перше, we were unprepared. This just, you know, none of us were prepared. We knew it was probably going to happen, but we were unprepared for the volume of work. So we're now trying to mobilise how we work into the future. As Stefan said, this is going to be for the long haul. We've got to get a group of people together and groups of people looking at all the aspects that will come our way. Whether it's schooling, Centrelink help, language help, etc. If we get government supporting that, great. But we can't count on that just at the moment. So we're trying to organise groups of volunteers that will look at various aspects that we'll be engaged in. But there are three main sort of questions that have popped up, which we're trying to address immediately. We're getting calls, you know, and very demanding calls that not that just want to donate. They want to donate just for helmets, or just for shields and body armor, or just for bullets. No, I don't want anything else. It's got to be for this. It's like, no, we can't do that. There's a lot of dangers in that. There's a lot of issues as to how we get the money that's collected here. Ukraine. The second question is we've had a number of people, and if I was 18, I'd probably another one. I want to go there and I want to fight. How do I do that? What do I do? Why not? And so we're looking at that. We're discouraging that aspect. We understand the emotion, but we discourage it because under the Australian laws, there are issues coming back. Go there and help with the humanitarian, with the medical, not a problem. Going there to fight, pick up arms and shoot, now that's a different question. First of all, the danger of getting killed there, maimed, what happens if you are wounded, what happens to you, how do you come back, what happens to you if you're not wounded and you want to come back. There are issues. So for those two key issues, next Saturday next week, I forget what the date is, we're organising a meeting here. We've actually sat down when we had the federal police here this week, and they are engaging with us and trying to help us through the complexities of this whole issue. So we want to hold a meeting with his staff and the federal police to talk about the issues about banking, about transfer of money to banks in Ukraine, banks in Poland. How do we do that? What are the concerns and so forth? Also talk about going there to fight. The federal police will come here and they actually want to give their point of view from an Australian government perspective. What are the issues? So at this stage, we're just in the stage of planning it. I think we spoke to the federal police today. It's a 3 o'clock Saturday week here at the Milka, open for everybody. And the key issue will be the banking, because there is a lot of categories of the banking and money changing and laundering. We got an email today from Volodymyr, and he gave, I think, 10 or 12 different bank accounts if you want to support the soldiers or weapons or whatever. Now, I forget who it was, I think it was, you looked at that. Most of those accounts, they're there. But if they only deal with American dollars or euros, so if you've got money, you've got to convert to American dollars and then do it, and so forth. But the federal police are saying, okay, fine, you put money in. Are those banks alive tomorrow? If Putin takes over more of Ukraine, which of those banks will still be alive, still be open for business? So we've just got to be very careful how we proceed with this. We're promoting the fund, Ukrainian Crisis Appeal, purely for humanitarian medical support. And that's going to go through Caritas, and there is a chain which we believe is the most reliable. So next Saturday, here at the Milk at 3 o'clock, any of you want to come, or your children, or people you think might want to come to listen, we'll start advertising probably tomorrow or Sunday about that. Listening to what's happened, and particularly the news today with the nuclear power station. The power station that was on fire is about 6 times the size of Chernobyl. If that had gone up, well, Europe, you know, this is getting very serious, and I don't know where it's going to go, so fingers crossed, Day Boże should read the document. That's all I want to say today, but stay tuned. We will be looking for volunteers to look at aspects, but the first job for us is to understand what work will have to be done, and that's what we're doing.
Any rallies at this stage?
Good question. Rallies is something that I'm being asked, particularly by non-Ukrainians, a lot. And it's a catch-22. What we're doing is we're not just doing automatic rallies every Sunday, because I believe after 3 Sundays, whatever, it'll just start to diminish. We're looking at day-to-day activity and then pushing a rally about a situation. The difficulty there is, as last week, we started organising that on Thursday night, and we had to organise with police at Fed Square and those sort of things. So it's all of a sudden it's on. So that's the thinking at the moment. If we change our mind and we go to a more regular, we'll put back to but that's the new one.
Are there any types of volunteers that have skill sets, say creating videos, social media, outreach, administration, contacts and stuff? Are these kind of things going to be useful in particular types of volunteering or assistance?
Possibly, I don't know just yet. That's just raised that same issue. We need to start looking at it and whatever. But we don't know what it is that we're going to need to be doing. And a big chunk of work might be done by the big government. If they fund officers to do all sorts of things, or medical, or Centrelink and so forth, or language translation, then that'll come off our tasks. So I don't know.
Do you actually have contacts with government agencies that might help take on the coordination of volunteer efforts, or?
We are talking with the governments, and Andrews in particular, but we are talking to the government departments, but not the specific government departments that may be engaged. I don't know, Stefan, have you got any more on that?
if we get the change in the status of the visa, everything falls into place. So
yeah.
AIMS takes over, they take over housing, right? Then the Victorian government through its settlement program, they do that. What we are, we're the conduit. So they come to us and say, yeah, there's no dedicated projects for you, no trade over beds, right? So otherwise, we're going to be organising language classes, we're going to be looking for accommodation, we're going to be someone who's very sick, we're going to be finding the money. So over the next couple of days, we'll start that conversation this week with the Prime Minister. I think that's the way to go. We're using the Afghans as an example. We did it for the Afghans, what's good for us.
Just to clarify, you're saying we should be looking at the tourist visa at this point, is that correct?
Correct. 6. And I just want to highlight again. You can go for any visa you want, but you're going to wait 3 months, 6 months, or a year. This is with negotiators. This is, and if it's a problem, it's up to Teresa, it's up to self, it's Slawko, we make one phone call to somebody, and it gets fixed.
Stefan, what about the people in Ukraine that don't have a passport to get out of Ukraine? What do they?
What happens is the government is basically the ID card, right? If you're filling stuff out, and they, for example, they've got Tikaya and Subodnichonija, if you got, they carry that ID card. If you put that ID card in, the number should work. If that doesn't work, you put in non-applicable or something. So because you've got to put something in each box.
Але ви можете до Польщі їхати на українському паспорті і потім в Польщі є проживка.
І там навіть кажуть, посвідоцтво про народження можна.
Вони розуміють, наприклад, сьогодні хтось сказав, I need a medical certificate, medical thing. We don't need a medical thing, you just put in non-applicable, right or not. As long as you fill in the box, it keeps on going. And if there's a problem, like we've had a few problems, what we do is we make a phone call and they fix it.
When we met with Minister Holyk just 2 days ago, I think, he said that he understands people being in all sorts of positions. They may not have any documents with them. Whatever they've got, they put in. If they don't have a document and it's required on the form, say so. Say I don't have it because of whatever. Give your situation. It will be looked at. It will be looked at favourably. So they're aware of the situation. People picked up bags and children and ran. So they may not have anything. They may not have COVID injections. They may not have medical, the appropriate health checks. Doesn't matter. Put that down. Put what you think, what you've got, and put a reason down.
I just wanted to add.
Sorry.
I just wanted to add to the COVID. There is an exemption for people who do not have vaccination. So if people are coming, there is an exemption. And also if you don't have a passport, or if your passport has just expired, you apply for an IMI card. And that's an ID, it's a travel document, and you can't leave without it, otherwise you won't get past your first flight.
Yeah. But on the visa application is what I'm specifically saying. You write down exactly what you don't have and why, and reasons, and we look at favourably.
And the system does work, because over 1,000 visas have been issued and only one has been rejected. So the system is working, and that's why we get a little bit frustrated when everybody starts to interpret, you should be doing this, why shouldn't we be doing this? No, just do what the Prime Minister tells you to do. So if you can get that message out, like Slawko says, we get so many phone calls, people, I know how to stop the war. You've got half an hour, I'll tell you how to stop the war. Played half an hour of sleep.
Okay, дякую Stefan, дякую Slawko, дякую to everybody. That's pretty much going to wrap up our evening for today. So there is some cheeses and food and crackers and pizza there or something like that as well, or whatever. So feel free to hang around, the bar is open. There is time to also ask individual questions of Stefan or Slawko or anybody else on anything that you've got. Thank you to CYM Melbourne for putting this together. I think to finish off, I think it would be fitting if she started is Poshyvaylo here. reminder, there are posters at the back. Please donate. That's how we can help at the moment. There is the Ukrainian crisis appeal, tax deductible humanitarian aid. Some Worldwide has also put out a fund for humanitarian aid, which is going out there. As Stefan said, the Ukrainian crisis appeal has just cost $1 million. They're going for 5. And also